This time on Science for Humans, a 68 million year old friendship. Now the friendship we're talking about is between a wasp and a bacteria. So wasps have antennae, and on their antennae they have little sacs of fluid, and in those sacs of fluid live bacteria. Now wasps have been built like this for a really long time, and when researchers were looking at fossilized wasps from about 68 million years ago, they found something funny. The bacteria that were fossilized in the old wasps are the same kind of bacteria that we find in wasps today. This is weird, and it raises a couple of really interesting questions, like how did the bacteria get from the parent wasp to the babies? Now remember, these are totally different species. This is like if you hung out with a giraffe and then you had a kid. Your kid would also hang out with giraffes. How did your kid get giraffes? And another thing, why is it over 68 million years these two stuck it out in the first place? I mean, there's lots of bacteria out there. Why have these two stuck together for so long? I mean, they went through ice ages and heat waves, meteor strikes and bell bottoms, and yet still, all those years later, they're together. Why is that? Well, the research by Martin Kaltenpoth and Kerstin Roeser-Mueller and others whose names I didn't just ruin, sorry everybody, actually gives us some of these answers. So let's go to the first one. How are the bacteria getting passed from the parents to the child? Why do baby wasps have giraffes or bacteria? Well, the answer is that wasp mothers, when they lay their eggs, squish out some of the bacteria on their babies. I love you. 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 And this is really gross, but also really common. Passing on bacteria from mother to child happens in almost every species of animal, including us. Okay, so now we know how the baby wasps are getting the bacteria. But why have these two hung out for millions of years? Well, this, it turns out, is that they have a symbiotic relationship, which means they do something for each other. The wasp pouches provide a safe home and food for the bacteria to live in. It's much easier than trying to eke out a living in the soil. And the bacteria produce an antibiotic that fights fungus. Now, fungus is one of the big causes of death in wasp larvae. So what the mother wasps are actually doing when they squish grossly all the pus on their babies is giving their babies little microscopic bodyguards that will fight off fungus and increase their chances of reaching adulthood. Now, one of the best things about science is if we pay attention, it can tell us stuff we didn't even set out to find. Like the coolest finding in this study. Now, over the course of their life, wasps are going to get infections just like us, which means some of the sacs in their antennae are going to be filled with their bacteria. What the researchers were able to figure out is the wasps somehow know which sacs contain the helpful bacteria, and they only squish those out on their babies. So we know this because the researchers made tiny, tiny antibiotics and injected it into some of the pouches on the wasps. So they cleared them out and inoculated them with different sets of bacteria. The wasps then woke up, went about their lives, had babies, and the researchers checked the baby wasps to see which bacteria had been passed on to them. Sure enough, the parents had only passed on the good bacteria, the ones that had been best friends for millions and millions of years. And that's what I call friendship. Thanks for watching Science for Humans. If you like things on bacteria, check out our video on lake bacteria and methane. It's cool, it's funny, and there's farting. Cool things animals can do. Check out our video on crows and causality. You won't believe what's in there. Thanks again for watching.